Oh well. So now we should have a lot more side ops. Here we go. Ooh, and we need. This is who we need. The legendary freaking gunsmith. We're getting that now. Regular loadout. Commence mission.
Deploying.
Out of all the things we need a legendary gunsmith. Customization of weapons is A and O later on in the game. And now, I hope, I'm not sure, but I think we can actually manage to do our first silenced sniper if we can just get him. D-Dog, you aren't that great to look on. The amount of times we will be landing here is insane. I don't know how many times I have walked this path. When I last played the game, but there is many.
Enemy presence detected. The map has been updated.
You always get up on such a great viewpoint also, so...
Analysis
Nope, that's
complete.
not him.
Analysis
That's not him.
complete.
Yeah, I know, we want him.
They're working for one of the bigger PFs, the Contract Forces of Africa, CFA for short. These guys are all business. Mercenary work is strictly about the money to them. Either way, they're no threat to us.
Okay. Let's start playing as we usually do then.
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
Alright, we have a cassette tape to listen to on questioning Huey. So let's do that.
You called that thing.
You gotta extract him.
Where does the name come from?
Well, several years ago, an excavation team discovered a hominid skull in the Sahel region.
Central Africa. The Southern Sahara.
Cypher gave the specimen the name Sahelanthropus, Man of Sahel. And then they covered the whole thing up.
Why?
They probably wanted to monopolize information about human evolution to have a head start in their genetic research. At least, until they had an idea of what they'd found.
It was that big of a discovery, huh?
Sahelanthropus was a gracile hominid, estimated to have lived about 7 million years ago. What's significant about it is how its skull's foramen magnum faces down. In other words, its spinal column supported its head from underneath.
It stood upright.
Right. Which would mean Sahelanthropus walked upright 3 million years before Australopithecus, making it the world's oldest human species.
He's coming too. Roger that.
Upright. I get it. Hence the name Sahelanthropus for your machine.
Walking upright was the decisive difference between our ancestors and other anthropoids. Our brains could get heavier once they were supported by the spinal column. That led to the use of tools and the development of complex communication through language. Only man is capable of this. My creation will be the progenitor of all bipedal weapon platforms.
And you did this for Cypher.
No, not at all.
Analysis.
Sahelanthropus is the best proof that I never betrayed you guys.
What do you mean?
The reconstructed Sahelanthropus skull looked exactly like the skull we used as our logo 9 years ago in the Caribbean.
An army without a nation. Outside the world order.
The design was based on Pangaea, the supercontinent that existed 250 million years ago, right?
Yeah. When the world was a single landmass.
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
I felt the same way about Sahelanthropus. Sure, I was forced to build it under their orders, but I always wanted to put its technology...
He's coming too. Roger that.
That's the reason I incorporated the old insignia into...
On a scale of 1 to 10, what do I think of this game? Well, it isn't a full 10. There is slightly things that I wouldn't say is the best of it, but it's a good game. So I would say, out of 1 to 10, I would give it an 8. Definitely an 8. There's few games that actually deserves a 10.
Snake, you finally came. Just don't record this, okay?
Not recording anything. What's this about?
What I'm about to say stays between you and me. It's about the weapon to surpass Metal Gear.
Analysis.
That's the target.
A researcher by the name of
Analysis
Clark.
complete.
He works in the biotech industry. Real advanced stuff. His area is bioengineering, but lately he's also gotten into genetic research.
Never heard of him.
Well then, what do you know about cloning?
I think I've heard enough.
Hold on, this is... Cloning lets you create a genetic copy of an organism. You take the nucleus of one of its cells, and you swap it with the nucleus of an unfertilized egg from another member of the same species. They started out working with plants, but since then they've had success with other organisms, including mammals. It's a hot area for a lot of places right now. Corporations, universities, research groups. There's no shortage of scientists out to get famous and patent their work, with morality taking a back seat.
Isn't that a little outside your field?
With my research.
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
Arrive at the mother
And Dr. Clark, I mean.
Go on.
Now, this is really highly classified stuff, but I've heard that an American biotech company has successfully cloned a human being. What's more, it happened over 10 years ago, and the researcher behind it was Dr. Clark. You've really never heard of him?
I don't meet many doctors.
This Dr. Clark is a complete ghost, even to others in his field. His age, where he comes from, that might not be his real name. And I can't even say for sure he's a he. Clark's employer?
He's coming too. Roger that.
The company motto is embracing your hopes, preserving talent.
What does this have to do with me?
Well, the games on my list that gets a 10 point
Dr.
is
Clark works for
Half-Life,
AGC, and they have connections.
You gotta extract him.
Cypher couldn't function without the community.
Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild actually got a 10 out of me.
Cypher has to be part of the Pentagon.
What else? The original Metal Gear was actually a 10 for me.
DARPA is a driving force behind human cloning.
It usually is something that brings something new to the table, like something that I get the feel like this is something new, this is something great, this is something I haven't had before in this way, delivered to me. It might be something with an old formula, but with something new added to it. Might be something entirely new.
And rearrange it
Like-
at will. If you could do that, it would mean being able to custom design human
I mean,
beings
some of my
for
favorite
specific
games
purposes.
isn't a 10.
Can you believe that? Suppose for a moment that this is all fact. A man of your talent.
Roger.
If
They are my
that
favorite
information
games.
Died with you, that would be a terrible loss for mankind. But what if mankind could preserve you for future generations by cloning you?
All right, enough. I get the idea.
Look, I know it's inductive reasoning, but this weapon to surpass Metal Gear they're developing in Africa, I believe it's something that uses this new technology. Speaking as a fellow scientist, it chills me to the bone.
That's rich coming from you.
If genes serve as our blueprint, then I wonder if they include an impulse that drives us to tweak the design. Can you imagine that? Genes encoded with information that wants its children to decode it. Is life itself putting the direction of our next evolution in the hands of scientists? I guess it would take some real arrogance to believe that. And yet, it could be what Cypher's after.
I think you're barking up the wrong tree. But that was an interesting story. It'd make a good movie.
You have to believe me.
Where'd you hear all this anyway?
Where? I just overheard it in bits and pieces while I was forced to do that research for it.
Right.
Wait a minute. Look, I want to help you. I want to be of service here. I'm risking my life with this.
Is that so? Maybe it's time we brought someone else into the conversation.
No, not him. Not Ocelot. You can't do this.
Alright, but yeah, a 10-point game for me is something that brings something new, something that makes me feel. It's hard to pinpoint. What makes a game a 10? It's a lot of things. It's basically everything in the game makes it a 10. But like the latest game that I gave a 10, that was Breath of the Wild, Zelda.
Side ops list
Boss,
updated.
that man you picked up in Walla Yamasa is a top-notch gunsmith. We got plenty of work for him. But it turns out that he's just the apprentice of a so-called legendary gunsmith. Now, if this legendary gunsmith is all he's cracked up to be, we could really use him on our side. The apprentice gave us the whereabouts of his master. If you've got the time, go and grab him. I've added the details to your side ops list.
Yes, I want him. Can we customize weapons now? No. Fuck. But yeah, otherwise, Half-Life was a 10 game for me. That's a classic. Diablo 2 was a 10 game for me. Original Metal Gear Solid was a 10 game for me. Link to the Past is what I would count as a 10 game for me from that back then. It's all relative. If Link to the Past was released today, it wouldn't be a 10 game. Same with Half-Life. It wouldn't be a 10 game today, but back then it was. But then there's also some of my favorite games like Ocarina of Time. That is not a 10 game, but it is one of the higher ratings I have. So it would be a 9 in that term. So yeah, it's a bit different. Hard to pinpoint exactly what makes a 10 game for me. Okay, let's see. We have combat
Please
dispatches to send
select a
out.
mission.
Oh, you're almost done. Nice. Let's see, what should we send you out on then? What should you do? What can give me good stuff and good money? Alright, let's go and get some people.
Unit dispatched.
Challenge task list. We have finished 2. 500 Fulton's distractions, alright. Yeah. In some cases it is nostalgic. That is something, but that's also... I based the 10 on when I played it. I mean, it isn't the rating I have given it now in thinking back on it. It's basically the rating I gave it back then. Same with Breath of the Wild, that's a completely new game. And there's nothing nostalgic over it. More than it's a Zelda, but... I am going to play Dark Souls later on. Not sure when, but that's a plan I have. I haven't never played a Dark Souls game. But based on what I've heard, it's definitely might be a 10 game in those terms. And then I also have a game that I'm really looking forward to playing, which is Horizon Zero Dawn. That's going to be fantastic. I also recently played Final Fantasy 15, which was an awesome game. I live streamed a bit of it and recorded some. Sadly, I was unable to finish recording it due to issues with the microphone, and I really wanted to complete it, so I just borrowed the game from a friend. So I actually wasn't able to record it fully, as I would like to. But Final Fantasy 15, I mean, is a game I love. It's a great game. It's definitely a 9 out of 10. And I'm a huge Final Fantasy fan, but it's not a 10 for me. A 10 game though, back in that regard, is for me Suikoden 1 and 2, and Final Fantasy 7, 8. 9 is also a top favorite of mine. It's actually one of my favorites for the PlayStation 1, but it isn't a 10 game for me. So even though I have the best nostalgic memories of 9, it's not a 10 game. So I don't know, it's a bit of what they bring to the table as well. I mean, 9 brought a great story, but it didn't bring anything new in that regard, that it was holy grail of Final Fantasy, so to speak. So 10 is a game I like very, very much, but it isn't one of my favorite Final Fantasies, and it definitely didn't get a higher rating than 8 for me. So let's see, side up lists. We actually really need this freaking guy. You gave me that there.
Please select a landing.
Do you have to be in that place again?
Heading to Afghanistan.
I'm going to kill people here now. I'm so tired of going through this place. I'm going to go murder people in here.
Deploying.
But yeah, definitely nostalgia is one thing that usually gives a higher rating. So many things that actually makes a difference. But yeah, one game I'm definitely looking forward to playing through is Horizon Zero Dawn. I might be able to stream that as well, not just in this quality that we're watching now. And depending on if I have to stream it from the PS4, which I really don't want to, but if I have to, I will. The sad thing there will be that there won't be any face cam, and I won't be able to use the quality we have. Which bloody well sucks! But yeah, there are a lot of things. For you then, Gerardo, what is a 10 game for you? What would you say is a 10 game? Do you have?
Enemy presence detected. The map has been updated.